Hello. So I thought I'd make a video on numbing ourselves, and anyone that's watching, I'm 100% sure that you can relate. Everyone has their ways of numbing themselves. The access of stuff we have to actively numb ourselves is, we have it at arm's reach basically anywhere we go, really, especially in the Western world. So I know anyone watching this can relate. So this is about bringing awareness to why we are numbing and watching the patterns that we're ingrained into, observing those patterns, and really going to the core of why we're numbing ourselves. There could be so many things. A lot of it comes from core wounds, especially from childhood, and things that are programmed into us, things that are taught to us, even things that we're not good enough. And when we feel not good enough, naturally we seek out validation, we seek out through our external world to fill that void. And that could be through forms of numbing, and we can do it with so many things, like information, like food, substances. And substances can be like so many different things. So a lot of the times we're numbing ourselves out of a void. When we don't feel whole, when we don't feel enough, naturally we're gonna seek for something to fill that, and that could be through relationships as well. So everyone can relate to this. I have my own patterns of this, and we could be numbing to avoid the reality we're in and our personal lives and the world around us, so we don't have to face certain things within us. And it's cool, like this video is about giving yourself compassion, giving that part of you that's numbing, giving that part of you compassion and understanding that part of you, and trying to see it from more of a perspective of this part of you is hurt, and instead of joining in on the modes of guilt and shame that we do when we do indulge in certain things, it comes with guilt and shame, and it's natural, right? But if we can bring more of a loving and a kind approach to ourselves, and nurture that part of us that is hurt, then we start to heal ourselves, and then we bring in more healthy patterns and more healthy avenues in which we can express ourselves, and it's beautiful. So of course this takes awareness, actually watching yourself, self-awareness and discipline, and compassion for ourselves, right? Like just being able to nurture that part of you that is hurt. I think it's very profound. Yeah, a lot of what we're doing when we're numbing ourselves, a lot of that is like a built-in mechanism, right? It's something we've learned, and it's a protection mechanism, right? So being able to see that there's a part of you that's hurt, and the first thing that you want to do is protect, right? Protect, and that can be in so many different forms. Like your protection mechanism could be, you know, indulging in substances, right? And that takes time to deprogram out of your system. So conscious awareness of these patterns and watching them from a non-judgmental state. If you're able to do that, then you're not perpetuating these cycles with guilt and shame. You're allowing them to be there, you're allowing them to play out, and you're detaching from them, and you're able to see them from a broader perspective. And that's not you as a person, right? It's something that's been conditioned into you, programmed into you, and we've partaken in this. And we can remove these things from our lives, right? We don't have to keep being in these cycles over and over and over again. The more we bring awareness to these cycles, the less they have power over us, and the more we can live life authentically in the way that, in a more open-hearted way, right? That's how I feel. That's part of what I've been going through. And sometimes we just have to keep going through these cycles of numbing, right? And just bringing more awareness and watching them, and be more nurturing to ourselves, and, you know, sometimes allowing ourselves to be in these cycles, you know. And that's not giving yourself free rein to, you know, indulge. It's more of a way of just being able to observe in loving presence, I feel. And when you do that, you're bringing love to these parts of you that are hurt, right? And that's so much of what society is doing is out of like a wound, out of not being enough, or, you know, this society we're in teaches us that. It teaches us that we're not good enough, and that's false. Every single one of us are good enough inherently, right? It's something that we learn that we're not good enough, and that creates that void, right? And we seek out of that void. And we never get satisfied when we're seeking out of that void. We're never satisfied, no matter what we do, no matter what we do. If we're seeking out of that void, we're not going to bring it's just going to be, you know, a dog chasing its tail. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so if we can bring more of a nurturing aspect rather than a self-hatred aspect, and you know, it is important to not suppress these things. If you are feeling hatred towards yourself and guilt, it's important to feel these things and watch these things, and really go to the core of them and see, because we have so many layers, right? So many layers. You know, we may get through one thing and another thing pops up, and the more layers we peel back of conditioning and programming, the more we're open, the more we open ourselves, the more we expand ourselves, right? It's like we have these layers of conditioning that's been set in, and that's not our truth, right? So when we peel back these layers, we open up room for our truth to, and our light to shine, right? And it feels amazing having more love and more joy in your heart, and being able to follow your true passions, right? True passions, not passions that are rooted in someone else's ideas of what they want for your life, right? Or just a rigid framework that's, you know, not true in your heart, right? We like to beat ourselves down so much, like, especially for, you know, indulging, but I found within myself that when I started to be more kind and compassionate to myself, I started to heal these parts of myself that were reaching out to numb, right? really speaking to myself and telling myself it's okay, telling that part of me that's hurt that it's okay, and I understand why you're reaching out. This takes a certain level of self-awareness and observing and discipline. So it's not a one and done thing. It's a process, right? We can really change things when we change our perspective, and we're not a victim, right? We're not a victim of what's going on, because realistically, we chose to partake in this, whatever we're going through, whether you realize that or not. And we can be a victim, or we can not be a victim, right? It's easy to be a victim. It's easy to do that. And I know, life can be very hard, right? And we do numb ourselves when things get hard. That's the natural mechanism for a lot of us, is to seek and to run away, and it's understandable. It's okay, right? It's okay to do that. If we bring awareness to these things and really go to the core of these things, we can start healing ourselves, right? And then we don't need to partake in these things, because we've healed that wound, right? We've healed that wound, and we don't need to seek to fill that void, right? Because we have validated ourselves within. We have healed ourselves. So we don't need something outside of us to heal us, right? We don't need substances. We don't need relationships. We don't need things to numb ourselves, right? And this is an ongoing process. I'm not saying that I'm fully healed or whatever, right? It's an ongoing process. I still have my things I numb myself with, right? But they don't have that grip over me anymore, right? And I've taken away so many avenues, unhealthy avenues, and being able to, taking away a lot of those avenues and healing myself in those aspects, it bring in more harmonious experiences with people and just places. Like right now, I'm chilling in a little spot here. It's a tuna farm, permaculture farm. Just beautiful people here, beautiful experiences here. And I feel like I called that in. I feel like I've done a lot of work on myself, and naturally that's reflected with the experiences now in my life and the people in my life. I've had a really great time here, and I feel like I'm following my soul's true passion, right? Not someone else's idea of what they wanted for my life, Yeah, so it's beautiful. Appreciate anyone for watching. Hope this video meant something to you. Yeah, so have a good day, have a good night. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Anyone that's watching, subscribed, appreciate you. So thanks. Alright, I'll leave you to it. See ya.